we actually have a few things we'd like to show you from the United States Space Symposium in Colorado Springs. And let's go ahead and roll the video. All right. Well, welcome to Town Hall 93, Space. Space, the final frontier where no one has gone before, except for Jacque Keats, Greg Ward, and Tom Hernandez. We really need to thank them for those incredible photographs from this week's Space Symposium in Colorado Springs. In fact, the 37th Space Symposium. Now, it is the must-attend space industry event. And thank you so much for those photographs. I have to, later on, I'm going to have to ask them for two questions. One about whether or not they had a chance to take a test ride in that Toyota Land Rover or dune buggy for the moon. And the second one is which company in that exhibit hall were all wearing plaid suits. That was two really things that came across in that nice set of photographs. All right, so now in a few moments, we're actually going to go live from the Space Symposium. But before that, talk a little bit about the history of the Space Symposium. Now, in 1983, a small group of individuals in Colorado Springs actually saw a need to establish an organization that could, in a very nonpartisan way, objective and fair manner, bring together the sectors of America's developing space community and serve as basically a credible source of information for a broad audience, from space professionals to the public. And in fact, representatives from over 40 countries now actually have been attending that Space Symposium. This year, the one exception is actually Russian Cosmosos, the Russian Space Agency. They are not attending for obvious reasons. So now let's go back to Space Foundation and Space Foundation, a little bit more about the Space Foundation, and then we're going to go straight live to our folks at Colorado Springs. So the Space Foundation really fosters, develops, and promotes among the citizens of the US and globally really a greater understanding and awareness of the practical and theoretical utilization of space. And it's really for the benefit of civilization. It's the benefit of fostering advances in science and really the peaceful and prosperous, prosperity of everyone around the world. Now, the foundation embraces all facets of space, including it has an educational mission as well, and a charitable mission as well. Now, the space agencies, commercial space businesses, associated subcontractors, military and national security, intelligence operations, cybersecurity organizations, educational organizations, and research and development facilities, think tanks, you name it, space entrepreneurs, and private space travel providers even. They all attend this event every year. It's an incredible event. Now, let's head over to Colorado Springs and welcome Jacque Keats, Greg Ward, and Tom Hernandez, who are there live.
Well, hey, Ajay, we're excited to be here.
Great. Hi, Jacque. I'm not sure we have your video yet. Oh, there we go. Now we have the video. Okay. Fantastic. So, hey, welcome. And how's it going there in Sea Springs?
It's going fantastic. We're actually coming to you live from the Broadmoor, and what's behind us is the West Tower, and we're out right by the lakes. And it's a beautiful day here in Colorado. The Space Symposium has actually been incredible. There was the opening line of Worlds Ago, where no one has gone before, and there's hundreds of people here working on exactly that problem.
And if I can ask all three of you to speak a little bit louder, because I think we're getting some wind noise, it'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, we certainly are.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. So it sounds like it's well attended, as it used to be in the past years. In fact, I think it was a sold out event, as it almost always is. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. The show floor sold out early, and the broader attendance is what, about 14,000 people. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been great, and there's so many more new companies here. As well as a lot of our clients that over the years are here who have are themselves doing very incredible things.
Wow.
Yes. And even at the they have a couple events we always attend, and that's the corporate dinner, and typically that room is about 50-50 with corporate sponsorship and then just general membership. There's so many corporations here that the full 3/4 of the room was all corporate sponsored, and just a few tables in the back. To listen to General James Dickinson, the commander of the Space Command.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very interesting dinner. And the main thing is now it's not just the United States, but it's our international partners. and even our commercial partners.
Yeah, in that regard, we had, there's attendance here from Australia, Germany, the UK, of course, Italy, France, and number.
We may have lost your audio. There we go. We're back. Great.
Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of wind, so we apologize.
Yeah. So did you meet with any interesting folks or observe any interesting folks, newcomers there that perhaps 10 years ago you would have never thought of?
I'll weigh in here, AJ. It's
Tom?
unique. Yes. Hi, everybody. On the floor, you could have met Amazon Launch Services and Amazon Web Services. They would have been only selling books 10 years ago, but here they are front and center in the modern space industry.
And they're looking to pave the way of infrastructure of the cislunar economy.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
I was at the Space Warfighters Luncheon, and there sitting next to me was a representative from Starbucks. My favorite. And they are here at the Space Symposium because they feel they've got a lot to learn and a lot of value to bring.
And Greg, are they thinking of probably establishing a few Starbucks up in space, perhaps on the moon?
Oh yeah,
As coffee stations?
I'm talking to them about a franchise on the dark side, the far side of the moon. Yeah.
All right. Truly cislunar. Beyond paving roads on the moon and developing infrastructure on the moon, there has to be a good cup of Joe up there, right?
Absolutely. And there's a lot of talk about Sentry as well, protecting the assets we have in space. And that's quite a theme here as well.
Yeah. Space is they said space is competitive, it's congested, and it's contested.
Okay. Contested space, like airspace is contested.
Yeah,
that's
around
right.
the world. Wow. Okay. So how were the exhibit halls? Were they well attended and all the big guys as well as some of the entrepreneurs there being represented?
Yeah, absolutely. The hall itself is packed. There isn't any space left to be had. And throughout most of the day, it's literally shoulder to shoulder people going from exhibit to exhibit. And then there's some really cool stuff. If you look at some of the pictures that we had that Greg, Tom, and I sent for that prequel, there's a lot of really cool things going on.
I couldn't help but notice the two pictures with Tom and you, Jacque, in the astronaut suits. I thought those were great.
AJ, that was the KBR booth, and we happened to make some good connections with that old client as well.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
We had a lot of good contacts all together, and but typical BD guy can't turn his phone off.
Well, I think Greg's getting a call from space as we speak.
There we go.
Maybe from a potential client from the Pillars of Earth, Pillars of Creation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
In fact, we did run into, there's two forums, the north and the south areas, and in the area where the smaller companies are, ran into a local company here that's just had some capital investment, and they're looking for us to help them with their strategy and pursuits.
Oh, that's great news. That'll be a fun conversation with them. Now, I really noticed that lunar what we would call here dune buggy in Southern California from Toyota.
Yes, Toyota.
Yeah.
By any chance, were you able to pry the keys from them and take it for a test ride and see springs?
Well, I got it started, AJ, but security came and they made me turn it off.
And if I may, AJ, I would still match my Jeep against that Toyota any day.
I know you're a big fan of Jeeps. Yes.
But on the moon, it's not a contest.
Yeah. That's not just an off-road vehicle, that's an off-planet vehicle.
That's right.
Oh, very good, Greg. Very good. Now, how about our clients? Have you had a chance to visit with and with some of our clients? We actually have a lot of clients.
New colleagues as well.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said that we've had a number of really great conversations with colleagues from prior engagements, as well as a lot of new colleagues. I think it's almost been back-to-back meetings.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's I think for like perhaps last year, and we're seeing the momentum increase in terms of the number of opportunities that we help our clients with that are in the space market, which is really nice to see, isn't it?
It is. It is. One thing it appears to be happening is we're starting to see kind of a merging of old space and new space as well, because a lot of the the people who have been involved in this for a while are engaging in some of the newer startups.
Yeah, it is. Now we do have a question from one of our audience members, and it's also a question and a request at the same time. And maybe you guys can, in the remaining time there in Colorado Springs, ask this question. But so our audience, one of the members of our audience actually remarked that why are all space vehicles, colored black and white? Why aren't they coloring them with, painting them with really brilliant colors? And so I think that's a great question, unless you already know the answer, to ask of, all the folks that you run into there.
I think it is a great question. I suspect it has something to do with being able to photograph it against a blue sky.
Yeah, there you go.
But
It would be a cool branding opportunity for branding and advertising for companies to basically, like they do here, right, on vehicles and things, is to just kind of just really paint them up with really brilliant colors, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know some of the space vehicles, the ones, at least the launch vehicles, have got kind of their what we call a NASCAR wall, AJ, with a bunch of logos on there of all the people that are literally advertising.
Wow, fantastic. Now, so you've mentioned, I think Tom mentioned Amazon, and Greg, you mentioned Starbucks, which is a really interesting newcomer. Did you get a chance to see any folks or see the exhibit from some of the other new space companies like Virgin Orbital and some of the others who are also, are clients of ours?
Yeah, they're all here. Virgin Orbit, Vox, Blue Origin. They're all here, and we had a chance to stop by their booths and chat with the folks there. Also, it's kind of quasi new. Sierra Space is now a subset of Sierra Nevada Corporation, and Greg and I had a great opportunity to spend some time with Aaron and Fadi talking with them the other evening.
Cool. Now we have another question. Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, we also talked to some well-known names who are still new entrants to the market, like Airbus North America. So it'd be some good follow-up with them as well. No one would call them a startup, but certainly they are new to this marketplace and trying to make a footprint.
Yeah, and I think they do quite a bit of work for the European Space Agency, but it's really interesting that that you've had a chance to connect with them here in the U.S., perhaps around the U.S. market. So I think those would be some really interesting conversations with them for sure.
In fact, I had a meeting on yesterday with Maxim, and we got to talking about OHB. AJ, one of your favorite clients.
Yeah, there's a whole story about that, which perhaps we can hold off for another town hall. Yes.
Yep.
But we actually helped OHB really grow their, basically get their first one of their first contracts and grow their business. And today they're one of the major space players in Europe.
Absolutely. And, there's an opportunity for us to work with them again here as a result of the meeting we had yesterday.
Fantastic. Now we do have another question from one of our audience members, which is, you might recall at a prior town hall, we had an entire town hall devoted to what we call nose art, right? It's that really incredible, unique, highly personalized art that folks put on airplanes, right? The noses of the airplanes. Now, the question really is, have you seen any nose art for space vehicles? And if not, you should actually suggest it.
Yeah, you see on the windows or below the windows, like you do on aircraft, the name of the captain on some of the space capsules and whatnot. But I'm expecting to see some nose art on Dream Chaser at least, right?
There you go.
Another perhaps a very little known fact about SMA. I talked earlier about kind of our involvement with the Hubble telescope imagery, but we also at one point in time had a few astronauts come and spend quite a bit of time with us at SMA. This was also in the 1990s, kind of some of the we might now today call the very early days of some of the advances in space. I don't know, guys, if you could see this model right here next to me. It's the, can you see that? I'm not sure on the screen, but that is actually a major proposal we did in the 1990s for the Skunk Works. It's called the X-33. It was named Venture Star. It was one of the very first single stage to orbit reusable vehicles. And it was a fabulous program. But, this was the state of the art in the 1990s, right? And think about things like Dream Chaser today, so much advances from them. What made this one unique, at least what, one of the aspects that made this unique was kind of our win strategy where we helped Lockheed Martin on, and you'll have to ask some of the old timers. I know only a little bit about the story, but it's called the 6 Ps win strategy back then. But also this was entirely propelled, not entirely, but significantly propelled by a hydrogen tank, which back then in 1990s was perhaps one of the most challenging aspects of building a space vehicle like this. But it was a fabulous win. And also it was probably one of the very few major contracts ever announced actually by the White House. So this was the contract winner, Lockheed Martin, was actually announced by Al Gore when he was the vice president of the United States.
That's awesome. It's a great
Yeah.
story. And I think we're going to have to feature some of this in one of our future town halls, AJ, for
Indeed,
sure.
yeah. So what are your plans for the remaining time there in Sea Springs?
Well, we're going to continue, walking through working with in the exhibit hall, and then we've got meetings set up this afternoon with a couple of clients that we're going to go visit up in Denver.
Very good, very good. So not just the 3 of you are in space, but how many other thousands of attendees as well?
Over 1,400.
Yeah, 14,000. It's quite a crowd.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, all right. Hey, thank you for that. First of all, the incredible images that we showed at the prequel, and for this discussion here. And we're all wishing you the best of luck. Go and knock them dead. Get as much business as we can in space.
Absolutely. That's why we're here.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.